committee assignments as far as our subcommittees. We've asked some of you to chair and then others of you to serve on. We look forward to working with you on the issues that are before us. And Colonel McDonough and your staff, we welcome you, as well as our motor carrier, Captain Vickery. We also have our Revenue Commissioner, Commissioner Riley. Thank you for coming, and everyone. I know Thursday afternoon after adjournment till Monday is not the popular time to have a meeting, but
no, it's not.
Well, I've got the furthest to drive, and I'm not complaining.
Judge, they told me you'd cranked your pickup 30 minutes ago, so we'll try to get you in it. You'll take a minute and look over our committee rules. We'll be appreciative of that. And with the numbers we have on our committee, we shouldn't have any issues keeping decorum and an orderly process to our committee meetings. But when we get into discussing our committees, our legislation before us, we just ask that you request from the chair to be acknowledged to speak and to carry forth in that order. After today's meeting, we'll work with Craig on getting future legislative initiatives assigned to our subcommittees, and we'll let them meet independently and then make recommendations to our full committees once you've had those opportunities. So, has everyone had a chance to look over our standing rules for the committee and to express any concern you might have? If not, we'll entertain a motion at this time.
Move to be adopted, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Moving to second to be adopted. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. Thank you, gentlemen. And, at this time, we have our governor's floor leader, or one of them, before us to present a quick bill. He asked for 3 seconds, so Craig has the clock running. Representative.
That's great. First of all, don't count this as my 3 seconds, but Mr. Chairman, congratulations on the job promotion. And members of the committee, I appreciate the opportunity to be here. And part of brevity here, this is House Bill 58, and it's probably the simplest bill you will ever find. Every year we have to codify into Georgia Code the Motor Carrier Compliance Bill, which is a federal bill that we go by. It allows our people to enforce the laws. And what we do is we codify any changes that were made into the federal bill. The only change that we have is the same one that's been for the last couple of years. We're going from 2016 to 2017. That's all it is. One simple change.
Representative Powell, Chairman Powell, excuse me.
I thought the presenter of the bill said it was about a 30-second bill. He just turned that into 180. Does that mean you might be a little long-winded?
I did that because I learned from the gentleman from Hartwell.
Correct.
And I would request your favorable consideration.
Now, the proper time, Chairman.
Move to
Thank you,
pass.
sir.
Second, sir.
All right. Got a motion and a second to do pass. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign.
Thank you,
Congratulations.
gentlemen. And you too, Tim.
Captain Vickery, if you have a minute, can I speak with you when we get through? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. And our other initiative is being House Bill 38, being presented by the illustrious chairman from Lincoln County. Is that it?
Franklin Hart Madison.
That's all right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I start to say ladies and gentlemen, but no ladies on the committee. Gentlemen of the committee, I bring to you House Bill 38. Last year I put in a bill. We've got a lot of new vehicles. They're basically cars with the safety equipment and all that stuff, the Elios and stuff like that. And some of them I can't even pronounce. But they got 3 wheels. So in some states, they still recognize that as being a motorcycle. Well, I had a company that came to me last year and this year, and they've got a 3-wheeled vehicle. It's got all the NHTSA standard safety equipment and all that. It's It's almost like the cars that came back from World War II from Italy. They had some three-wheel cars that were economy driven. But anyway, in looking through that, most every state, with the exception of maybe 6 states in the country, basically recognize the fact that they're a car, not a motorcycle, and they've exempted the requirement that they have a Class M license. So in the infinite wisdom of our legislative council, instead of going through and putting a bunch of complicated wording to define them, council and all parties came up with the idea of calling it a three-wheel motor vehicle that is equipped with a steering wheel and directional control, which basically is not a motorcycle because it hadn't got the handlebars. So by defining it as a vehicle with a circular driving wheel, that's how council and all define these. But it just basically says that these type of three-wheel cars, you don't have to have a Class M motorcycle helmet.
All right.
And I spoke way too long on that too. But
Any questions of Zena? Representative?
You saying that we're not requiring a helmet
if I said helmet, I
thought it
misspoke.
was
A Class M license,
license?
which that's a Class M is your motorcycle attachment.
Yeah, so would they be considered as a car?
And they are car.
Okay,
Georgia's just one of the states that, because of the franchise laws, quite frankly, we haven't been able to define these three-wheel auto cycles, or they call them different things, but auto cycles.
Okay, and I may have seen it, but I just can't picture it right now. So do they have seat belts and
They have
all?
seat belts, directional signs,
Okay, cool.
airbags.
All right,
I wouldn't want to be driving one on 85, but you know,
okay.
it's still one of the new millennium economy vehicles is the best way I can describe them.
All right, cool.
Any further questions? This time we'll entertain a motion. Anyone would present? Have a motion do pass and second. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mr.
Congratulations,
Chairman,
Mr.
I'd also like to recognize one of my constituents back there. Jamie, raise your hand. We're real proud of him. He's moving up the line quickly over at the motor carrier.
For him. Colonel,
Not that I'm just discouraging those other three, but there's kind of old hat.
Colonel, would you have any comments to make?
The three-wheeled cars that you see, Polaris has used one that a lot of people have seen. And when you look at the vehicle, it looks like the old dune buggies from our day, except instead of 4 wheels, it's 3 wheels. And just like the chairman said, they have roll cages in them. I mean, I agree with them. It's not something you'd probably want to be on 285 with, but it is not a motorcycle. It is a true steering wheel, front axle type vehicle. You're not straddling and you're not using handlebars. You're actually using foot controls and a steering wheel to operate it. So it's just one of the newer classes. It's a pretty neat class of vehicles.
Yeah, my main concern was the, was the safety. Just wanted to make sure the safety belts and, because you guys have to enforce
Yes, sir.
that stuff and clean
Yes,
it
sir.
up if something happens. So I
Yep.
just wanted to make sure you guys, as long as you're comfortable.
Yes, sir.
I think.
Thank you, Colonel. Captain Baker, you have anything to say? Glad to have you with us. Probably should have done this at the beginning of the meeting, but let us take a moment so those of you that are attending with us today know who's serving you on this committee, and I'll start with Representative Prince and ask them to introduce themselves, tell you what part of our state they're from, and
Thank you.
how they serve.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm State Representative Brian Prince. I represent House District 127, which covers parts of Augusta, which is Richmond County, and Rennes-Louisville, which is Jefferson County.
Thank you.
Representative Bob Trammell from the big town of Luthersville and House District 132. I represent a stretch from Newnan to LaGrange, Coweta, Meriwether, and Troup County.
Good afternoon, y'all. Timothy Barr. I get the pleasure of representing North Gwinnett and South Hall in the 103rd District in the House.
Representative Jeff Jones, District 167. I represent a little sliver of St. Simons where I live, the northern half of Glenn County, all of McIntosh and Long.
Johnny Caldwell, 131, all of Upson, all of Pike, and half of Lamar.
Clay Perkle, I do serve Tiff County, Turner, Irwin, Ben Hill, and Coffee County in South Georgia.
I'm Representative Dewey McLean, and I represent House District 100, which are the cities of Lilburn, Lawrenceville, Norcross, and Duluth in Gwinnett County.
I'm Representative Jason Ridley. I serve the 6th District, which is North Whitfield and North Murray County up next to Tennessee line.
Alan Powell, I represent Franklin, Hart, and Madison counties in northeast Georgia. This is my 28th year on this committee, and it's a great pleasure to serve with the new chairman.
We and all.
And he'll do absolutely well.
Appreciate
Can we
you.
vote on that?
We, yeah, make him honorary. Thank you. Thank each of you for that. And by the way, Representative Jones is our vice chairman of this committee. And,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Glad to serve.
great. All right. Any other issues that any of our members have to present? Any comment from those attending? Well, as the judge says, the hour's drawing near and he's ready to go home. So we stand adjourned and thank you for coming and have a great weekend.
We like